Hey, what's going on, everyone? Thank you for tuning into my video today. I want to discuss the brand new 2024, 24, 25, I don't even know what year it is. Well, basically next generation Dodge Charger, the new, very controversial EV vehicle that's been officially released by Dodge. If you have not seen the commercial, it's basically Tim Kuniskis. Can never pronounce the gentleman's last name. He is, I think he's still the CEO of Dodge. Love the guy, love the product, love his advertisement. Basically, in this particular commercial, he goes back in time, sort of like Back to the Future style, where he meets up with the Dodge brothers, and he kind of gives them a warning that, quote unquote, that, they don't want to work for the system, they want to take on the system.
So here's the deal. You don't realize it yet, but you're at an extremely important decision point in your lives. Do you want to keep working for the system, or do you want to take on the system? Well, I know what we need you to do, and I'm here to make sure you see why. Because we can't afford for you to back down. You're just a couple of incredibly ballsy moves away from ensuring your legacy and making history. And this is your future.
And he's talking about regulators, and we'll kind of get into that briefly as well. He had mentioned in the video the Hurricane motor, which is a twin turbo inline six. Once again, guys, we'll go ahead and kind of discuss that further as we get into the comments. That's really what we're doing here in this video. So let's go ahead and dive in here and scroll down and check out some of the comments. So first comment that I come across that's interesting is the Collector 0447 says, Dodge, we're making this. Sorry, but since nobody actually wants to drive this damn thing, why not try to make it look like a 2005 racing game cutscene? I think they're insulting the graphics. We'll see that quite a bit. Let me take a quick second to tell you guys, I think the car looks good. I think it's a good looking car. We're going to discuss a little bit more about the EV and direction they're going with, and I want to talk about more about this Hurricane Motors, which is a gas-powered inline six twin-turbo engine that they did decide to put into one of the models or trim levels. So, next comment that really stands out is you technically are complying. You made it electric. There's no rule breaking. You just follow them. So, guys, let's take a second to talk about the CAF standards. If you're not familiar with that, that is the corporate average fuel economy set by the federal government. I did a quick search, and if I remember correctly, by 2024, they want the average, I want to say the average fleet miles per gallon for a fleet of vehicles to be right around 46 miles per gallon. So if you're Chrysler, Dodge, or Stellantis is technically new owners now of Chrysler FCA, it's hard to have an average fleet miles per gallon around 46 if half your lineup is powered by the Hellcat engine, which we'll discuss that a little bit. But yes, it's marketing, trying to be clever with words. Yes, they're not really breaking rules, but a lot of people's arms are getting twisted here. When I say people, I mean car manufacturers. I don't necessarily agree with it. I think they should let markets dictate demand here. I'm not going to dive into the politics of everything because this is a car channel, but believe it or not, we have to briefly touch base because some of the pushback that you're seeing is political in the sense that EVs are very political. Politics are very involved. It's got like this political nature behind it, unfortunately. So that's why you're seeing such a pushback, because most of Dodge customers, and I don't really have the research per se, but I bet a couple bucks that, the research would suggest that, if your consumer is going after a Hemi-based powered vehicle, that's going to be hard to sell them on an EV vehicle. So let's keep scrolling along about that. So this is the best SNL skit in years. I guess it is kind of funny. They got the gas version of this platform, so if the electric version flops, there's still a way to keep the cars going out of the factories by swapping in a petrol engine. So this is kind of where I want to take a second to talk about this inline twin turbo V6, which apparently Toyota can't do for their Supra, but Chrysler can. So a little shot at Toyota there with their BMW. I mean Supra, excuse me. So what I really think they should have did was put a Hemi engine into this chassis with an electric motor power in the front, making it all-wheel drive, just like they do with the 4xe for their Jeep platform. So I don't understand that. Even the cast standards coming into play, I would think it's safe to say that a hybrid system Hemi would be more fuel efficient than a twin turbo inline six. Now, you have to keep in mind with turbocharged motors, while you're driving more normally, it is usually 6 cylinders consuming fuel, but once you're on the power, turbos consume a lot of gas. Turbo motors can get really inefficient if you're driving spiritly. So, once again, I'm still not sure Dodge's thought process with that. You know, if Ford could do it, and Ford, the company, by the way, went very strong with the twin turbo V6 platform. Well, when Dodge was heavy into the Hemi game. So, I mean, Ford was doing the twin turbo V6 Raptor, you know, they had the EcoBoost Mustang, and now Ford has the new 2025 S, what's the new chassis? Not S550, S650, I think it is, with a fourth generation Coyote engine, naturally aspirated, coming out. So I don't understand if Ford can do it and follow the cast standards, why Dodge couldn't bring back the Hemi engine. And like I said, I think the move would have been put the Hemi engine into the car with a electric motor power in the front, because the Jeep 4xEs get phenomenal fuel economy. So I don't see why or how they couldn't do that and not get some good gas mileage Dodge Chargers and comply with the federal government. Moving right along, lots of insults you're going to see, lots of comedians. I always knew the Dodge Roads were interested in making a 6,000 pound car with a 260 mile range. That's innovation. I'm pretty sure that is an insult. The Dodge ads from a few years ago were so great. Seriously, Dodge, what is this? So a lot of people are really kind of giving Dodge a... I'm kind of knocking them for, I don't know if it's CGI, which is pretty bleh. But usually Dodge commercials, and why they're so great, is the editing's phenomenal, the music's phenomenal, and it's really usually the actual car. So they're actually taking, if you go back and look at other commercials where they're promoting the Scat Pack Hellcat, even when they were doing the Demon, a lot of times it's really their car, like drifting around highways and stuff. So it was always phenomenal commercials. This, being a vehicle, is not really out yet from a production standpoint. A lot of it's CGI, and it's definitely not the best of CGI. Once again, someone's saying, so what you're telling me is that the Chrysler is still going to sell the crate engine that a decent shop can swap this 6-cylinder out for. That might be the greatest workaround of all. Give us a gas engine powertrain option that will make swaps that much easier. Now, getting the electronics to function as intended might be a different story. Yes, indeed, that's not going to be a cheap option. You'd probably go like a standalone ECU setup, which would mean someone had to tune it. So I don't think it's going to be quite as easy as you would think. It's different now with the older chassis that already has, so if you wanted to put a Hellcat engine in a Scat Pack, you could, because you can simply just take the computer out of it and put it into the Scat Pack chassis, because it's the same chassis. So that's not going to be quite as easy, unless Dodge does get really sneaky and makes some sort of harness for this. I don't know. Nothing like revving a classic and killing at the same time. Rest in peace to a legendary icon. Now keep in mind, guys, they did show off a lot of the electric exhaust during the commercial. I don't know if I'm sold by that. I think you just need to, you know, if you're gonna go EV, you're EV. Like, don't try to make it a gas-powered vehicle. You know, I think the only thing car manufacturers that might be able to do with an EV to kind of give some sound to it is if you get into RC cars, like hobby-grade RC cars. You know, a lot of people put fans on to keep them cool because EVs get hot. And that's pretty cool. You know, if you're familiar with a company called Arma, they produced a Limitless, which was a Roland chassis that you put your own electronics into it. One thing I'm talking about, like a 6-scale, guys, remote control car, and you can have wherever you want fans, and it can sound. I have a buddy that has one. If I'm playing it right now, you can hear how kind of cool it sounds just sitting there with the fans running. Other than that, you know, I think if they accept the fact that it's an EV. So this comment's very interesting to me, guys. I'm not a Dodge guy. Matter of fact, the last few cars have been German, but this is awesome. Those are crazy numbers for all three. The Hurricane engine seems like it might be an ATS Blackwing competitor. This please me, Dodge. So, you know, I think they are going to attract some new consumers, but I think that's part of the problem. You're going to lose the base you built, you know, since, I mean, the Hemi has been around for a while. It came out in, you know, the first, I mean, it's really been the same platform, but I think the 5.7 came out on the RT maybe back in 09 or 08. And then everything got revised in 15, and they really shook up everything with the Scat Pack, and then obviously the famous Hellcat, which then turned into the Demon, which then turned into the Red Eye, and then so on and so forth, including the Demon 170. A lot of people talking about, once again, this inline 6. Laugh a lot at a straight 6-cylinder Dodge BMW lent you a B58, once again, the super engine, basically. Quite a few people still commenting about a rolling chassis. All that's missing now is a rolling chassis and sold separately crate Hemi V8, and it'll be perfect. I still don't think it's going to be that easy, guys, unless they really sell something to go along with that to actually, from a computer standpoint, to control it. And there are a few people speaking very positively about the inline 6. There's a few funny ones coming in. Can we use this as a TV remote? Awesome. Once again, people saying this car is going to get Hellcat swapped so fast. I don't think it's going to be that easy. I think it's going to happen, but I think it's going to be like a bigger name shop. I don't really think you're going to see the average consumer run around scooping up a brand new, $50,000 car at minimum, and then putting a $20,000 Hellcat engine into it. I don't think it's going to be that common. Although, I'm not sure how you get dislike. I don't think there's a dislike button, so I'm not sure how it's showing. Yeah, YouTube got rid of... No, there's a dislike. Okay, you could dislike it. Okay. I'm not surprised. Like I said, I think Dodge knows that they have to go EV, but I truly think they should have went with a hybrid setup. They did it with the Jeep 4xe, and that's kind of where I'm going to end this video. We kind of discussed the CAS standards and why they really are being forced to do this, like a lot of manufacturers. I'm not sure they're really taking on the system. We'll have to wait and see. But it should have been even the 5.7 liter with a hybrid, like nice little motor power in the front, can easily add 100 horsepower with an electric motor. So, I mean, you could have had an all-wheel drive hybrid. You don't have to call it a hybrid. Dodge's got some phenomenal marketing going on. They would have called it something else, just like the Jeep's called the 4xe, which is basically a hybrid. I think that would have been the right move, even though hybrid has a certain stigma behind it. I think a lot of consumers are over hybrids now because now the new, once again, sort of political focus is EVs. Unfortunately, EV vehicles is very much a political conversation now. And that's just the real truth of it. But I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this video up. I don't like to mumble too long, as you can see why. So comment below, what do you guys think of the new next generation Dodge Charger EV? Does it interest you? Does it not? Did you wish they went with a Hemi or maybe even a hybrid? Tell me below. I'm curious, and I will be interested to see what your thoughts are. As it goes without always saying, make sure you smash that like button if you indeed like the video. If you want to see more videos like this, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll see you guys in our next video. Peace.